Hi guys, how are you? Hello to all my ex-Jehovah's Witness friends and the Jehovah's Witnesses that pop in from time to time to look angrily at me. I wonder, does anyone know from my local hall that I'm still doing this? I think they know I'm an apostate, but I don't think they know about the videos quite yet. Jehovah's Witnesses, I did this as a devout one. We always said this: don't listen to apostates. They're just angry and bitter and twisted and right, and don't listen to them. We'll tell you everything you need to know about Jehovah's Witnesses. Just come to us and talk to us. Never mind the fact that the Scientologists say the same thing, that the Mormons and the Moonies say the same thing. Don't listen to our detractors. We're going to tell you the truth. What other reason would we have but to tell you the truth? So what I've decided to do with a couple of videos now is I'm going to talk to you about Jehovah's Witnesses, from their own words. Now, there's an online website on Facebook called Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses Worldwide, where the Jehovah's Witnesses talk to one another. Now, for some reason they leave it open, so I'm going to take advantage of this, and I'm going to do about 10 of these videos and before they take it down. And I'm going to show you what Jehovah's Witnesses teach. Because it could be accused, we could be accused, us ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, us apostates, of being like the victims of, say, the drug thalidomide, right? Those poor people whose mothers took thalidomide in the 60s and the 70s, who were left critically damaged because of it for the rest of their lives, have every reason to be bitter. However, the drug itself is a very useful drug. It helps to cure blood-borne cancers. My own father recently was taking it. And it's very good with, what's that disease that Jesus cured? Leprosy. It's great for leprosy, apparently. So, Jehovah's Witnesses could be the thalidomide of religions. Maybe they're just bad for us, but they're good for you. Let's find out. The first comment we're going to read is, you cannot unlearn the truth. The truth will always remain the truth. You can leave Jehovah's organization and try hard to suppress your conscience to allow you to live like unbelievers, but you can't unlearn the truth and you can't run away from it. Well, that's the first comment, and then there's going to be a bunch of people's comments below, and I'm going to just unpackage them a little bit for you. So you can't unlearn the truth. Okay, assuming it's true, that's fine. True is true, except the way the Bible teaches true can be whatever God chooses to be. It's wrong for us to kill now, but it's okay for us to murder everybody in a village in ancient Israel and take the women as some kind of sex slave trophies. That was okay. The truth will always remain the truth. Well, again, that's not strictly true biblically, but scientifically it's true. You'll notice that Jehovah's Witnesses take science and biblical truth and interpose them quite a lot. You can leave Jehovah's organization and try hard to suppress your conscience to allow you to live like unbelievers. That's a big bit, okay? And then he just repeats himself, you can't unlearn the truth and you can't run away from it. Well, let's ignore that last bit because we've covered that basically with the first two comments. But you can leave Jehovah's organization. Now, this writer has now put the two together, the truth and Jehovah's organization. He's tried to meld the two together. We already know Jehovah's organization does not remain the truth. We know that. That's a fact. Even Jehovah's Witnesses must accept that their teachings have constantly changed throughout. They have a doctrine called the brighter light. Light getting brighter as we come to the end doctrine. So there's no possibility that can be true. You can try hard to suppress your conscience to allow you to live like unbelievers. Okay, so now that's automatically has taken anyone who's not a Jehovah's Witness and said that you have to suppress your conscience to struggle to live like them. Okay, well, I'm a dad who doesn't cheat on his wife, not expecting applause for that, but it's a fact. I've got two kids who I love and have educated. We keep a roof over their heads, a business going. I do charitable works, as does my wife. We do everything we can for our neighborhood. What do I have to suppress my conscience for? Do you? I don't think we do. What about the people who work for Oxfam or Doctors Without Borders, or any one of the many charitable groups through churches that do, an infinite amount of more good than the Jehovah's Witnesses do? What about them? Do they have to suppress their consciences? I don't believe so. Okay, let's get on with the comments. So true. I once left. Some of them don't speak English, so I'm not going to slag off their writing. I once left Jehovah, and it didn't take me long to notice that I was lost without him and his organization. Again, Jehovah and his organization have to be together. I have been back for 6 years now, and would I have not regret one day in my life that I went home to him again? Okay, what you often find is a lot of young people leave Jehovah's Witnesses. They're cut off. Their parents stop talking to them. Their family stop talking to them. They're in dire straits. They don't know what to do. So is it any wonder that they end up imploding? Not at all. Not at all. Another comment. Me too. I left Jehovah for 10 years and I have no one to blame but me. I knew I could go back. It was always with me. I had to repent. I wanted to come home. I'm no one without God, Jehovah. Okay. Once again, I have no objection to you becoming a religious person or staying a religious person. I was a religious person for a long time. But the conflation, the joining together of religion and Jehovah, and the Jehovah's Witnesses particularly, is absolutely corrupt. I tried to run from the truth for 25 years before I went in the pool. That sounds creepy, doesn't it? I went in the pool. I assume she's talking about getting baptized and not someone drowning her. Yup, I learnt that one from experience. Strangely, when I fell away from Jehovah, I joined the fire service. In some backwards... This is nice, actually. Listen to this. In some backwards way, I had it in me to be a part of a brotherhood and life-saving work. Because you were. Well, after some thought, the fire service is not life-saving. No, I'm going to read that again. Well, after some thought, the fire service is not life-saving. It's life-sustaining for a short time. Weird how my life turned out, but at least I was able to come to my senses. Now I enjoy the opportunities from both. Yeah, isn't that brilliant? You enjoy the opportunities from both while telling other people not to do it. You've got a job and a pension, no doubt, Petal. And now you have the fucking temerity to tell people that the fire service is not life-saving. Oh my God, that is appalling. Before I was healthy, but without Jehovah, my life was without meaning and I was very sad. Now I have serious cancer, but with Jehovah I have never been so happy. I feel safe no matter what. Well, this person's probably come back to Jehovah because they have serious cancer and they're looking for some kind of cheer you up. I don't object to that. I mean, cancer is a horrible disease. My wife had it. She didn't feel the need to run off to a cult though. So there you go. So true. Pardon me. I thought I missed out on things, left the truth for almost 20 years, but it never leaves. It doesn't. It's almost like that clammy uncle who touched you. Remembering meeting times, feeling guilty, missing the good conscience and relationship with Jehovah and true friends. Well, how are they your true friends if they didn't talk to you for 20 years? Feeling guilty. Feeling guilt is not a part of a Christian life, dumbass. Missing the good conscience. Again, it depends on what you did when you left Jehovah's Witnesses. I didn't do anything that I feel particularly guilty about, other than that I'm just a normal dumbass human. Oh yeah. That's so true. But now's the time to stay in Jehovah's... This person's written a book. I'm not going to read it. To stay in Jehovah's organisation. Oh, great, Pam here. Time is so close for the Great Tribulation. Why be on the other side of the fence from Jehovah at a time like this? People should be running to him. I left Jehovah for 23 years. It was so hard for me to come back. Most of my family had come in the truth. I never forgot about Jehovah. Oh my God. Stupid woman. End of the world's coming. End of the world's been coming a long time, Petal. You can't unlearn the truth. Gotta love it. For I know it's the truth. You don't know it's the truth because you're not permitted. You're not permitted to find out anything else. Okay? I too once left the truth and my conscience would not leave me alone. Thank you, Jehovah. Love all these positive stories of brothers and sisters returning to the truth. I too left for years and realised the only real protection and peace comes from serving Jehovah. If you honestly wanted to go and serve God, Jesus didn't tell you to go and join an organisation. He didn't. He just said gather together with other like-minded people. Good Lord. So very true. Unless you left when you were very young. My brother only remembers bits and pieces. But he did do drugs though, so his brain is shot. I've gone through this, inescapable. And where else would you go? Nowhere. See, that's the famous one. I've done a video about that before. Where else are you going to go to? Because that's what they teach you. You notice all these people, if you're Jehovah's Witness, they're not teaching things that they've thought of themselves. They're teaching things that are implanted in them at the meetings. Where would I go? Oh, your conscience will be so bad. Consciences are trained. Jehovah's Witnesses say it themselves. Consciences are trained. You could train a child to feel guilty that they refused their parents' sexual advances. It wouldn't make the sexual advances correct. The amount of Jehovah's Witnesses, ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, that I get emailing me every week who have suffered sexual abuse at the hands of a parent, or a step-parent, or an elder or a ministerial servant. I knew people personally at least one who killed themselves over it. It's ridiculous, and I'm just me. You know, in many ways, I feel like one of these incompetent elders in the Kingdom Hall, being thrown with huge problems, and you just think to yourself, how on earth what can I say to this poor person? Back to the funny stuff. Everyone's comments give me hope to see my youngest daughter return to Jehovah one day. Thank you all for sharing. I hope she doesn't, Amelia. If you decided to leave Jehovah, please stop trying to cast shadows on his organization. Remember, if your brothers and sisters and niece were abused, why don't you report the abusers and let the authorities handle the situation? Oh, he's talking about a lady above who had said that her family had left because they were abused. Who, what, and where? Or was it something happening in your own home? So many persons in one family. Jehovah does not uphold wrongdoing, and neither does his organization. Yes, it does, Petal. Stop blaming Jehovah for your family problems. You bitch! If you are confused and only believe in Jesus, leaving out Jehovah, the truth will never be in you. So go and live your sinful life and reap your everlasting destruction. But stop putting down what Jehovah says is something good. What a despicable woman. Someone who just said my family left the truth because they all were sexually abused. And she has said, go on and live your sinful life and reap everlasting destruction. Okay, guys, remember, this is not apostates. Genuine Jehovah's Witnesses. Okay. Oh, dear me. I've seen so many come back to the truth in the past 5 years that have gone away for a long time. I myself was gone 16 years and returned in 2003. It was very hard, but I never forgot Jehovah. Jehovah is calling his people home. He is starting to tighten his ranks. We can see that now. Now is the time to get off the fence and return to the organization. The release at the convention is such a loving letter from our Father that he still loves you and wants you to come home no matter what you've done. Just pray to him and come home. Interesting point here. She just says the release at the convention is a loving letter from our Father. Who's your father? Rebecca Racco. Who's your father? Jehovah didn't write that letter. The society wrote that letter. A bunch of men from Brooklyn wrote that letter. Not you. Not Jehovah. Okay? Just bear that in mind, Petal. Who's your dad? Who are you actually worshipping here? Oh, dear me. I cannot say that I was ever really in the truth, though I was baptized many years ago. You were Jehovah's Witness. I wouldn't say you're in the truth. Okay, you're in the false. That was it. Jesus' sacrifice is for all imperfect people. Also, if you cannot love and forgive, you may need to ask elders for assistance because it means you're spiritually sick. Guys, I'm going to tell you this once and for all. Never ask the elders for assistance. Right? You're putting yourself on their radar and you will get in trouble for it. Dear me. At the end of the day, each one's relationship with Jehovah is what has to be restored. Sure, we in the congregation should welcome those inactive who want to return, but each of us carry his own load. The congregation is composed of imperfect humans, so a sincere love for Jehovah needs to be enough to motivate inactive ones to return. I think she's basically saying I'm not really interested in helping you. This is facts. This is facts. I was disciplined and said that I should be going to do whatever I wanted while I was out. You know, I couldn't bring myself to do it because I was raised in the truth and couldn't turn my conscience off even when I wanted to. See, you were a decent person. And now you're saying that was Jehovah's doing. That was Jehovah's Witnesses doing. Ooh, you creepy buggers. You couldn't have worded that more perfectly. Needed to hear that. Thanks. So true. My parents left the truth for 20 years, so I was born in the world. But one assembly when I was 10, my eldest brother and grandfather both had parts. So my mum went and took me along. She decided to return to Jehovah, and we never went back. I had a few rough years in high school, but I got baptized when I was 18, and Jehovah has blessed me. Unfortunately, my dad and 3 other siblings haven't returned, so your family has been destroyed for it. Ah, dear. I can't agree with this from personal experience. I was in the world for 20 years, and yes, every bad and immoral thing I did, I thought of knowing. I was against Jehovah's standards depressed me. This is not an English writer, obviously. My associates at the time didn't know, but for 20 years I thought of Jehovah. So, you did bad things and you felt guilty about it. That's good, you have a conscience. You don't need to go back to Jehovah's Witnesses, mate. You really don't. You just need to be a better person. Ah, dearie me. We all who have left the truth have our stories, and they are all so similar. Yes, they are so similar. You left the truth because the truth. See, it's still in my head too. You left the cult because you couldn't live by its hideous rules, and then you puttered off, and because you were broken up and damaged inside, you then went on to do bad things, or at least things that you perceived as bad, and then you felt guilty about it because Jehovah's Witnesses had trained you to feel guilty about those acts, and then you returned. Dear me. I pray for my husband every day who's lost out there in the world somewhere. Well, if your husband, he should be right beside you, pet. Okay? That you shouldn't need. You shouldn't need to do that. The point of the matter is, these videos are these comments are not showing this loving attitude. They're showing people who are indoctrinated and are brainwashed and who are not capable of working out simple things. They mix up God and their religion, and they mix up their conscience with their Bible-trained conscience, which is what Jehovah's Witnesses really mean for the indoctrination. They mix up all these things, and then they say, oh, I'm really happy now that I'm back in. It's really difficult, but God's tightening up his ranks. Well, what's he tightening up his ranks for? He's tightening up his ranks because people are bleeding out, guys. You're leaving en masse. You should leave en masse. Honestly, I mean, there's a Jehovah's Witnesses who leave, who go off and rejoin the original Bible students. And I've spoken to some of them, and I do think they're slightly crazy, admittedly. But at least they're free to come and go. At least they don't believe in shunning. Guys, I'm going to hit you with some more of these videos from the Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.